On this channel, we welcome you because this is Victory Voice TV, where you get all those news that you know as they go. Please don't miss out. Just turn on notification bell so that whenever we pop up news, you will get it, because we are being very selective. Things that you need to know and things that is going on, that is what we give to you timely. Okay, so now this one, we are on Arise TV again. Oseni is trying to ask those questions again to APC chieftain, who has come to give Tinubu's manifesto, what he can do and what he cannot do. Started doing what he would do, what he did before. Oseni is asking those questions that you would like to ask if you are to be seeing these people. All right? That grammar that you would have loved to speak, Oseni is speaking the voice of Nigerians, voice of the voiceless. All right? Grammar of those that did not go to school. Oseni Rufai, God bless you. I want you to listen to this drama. The guy even flared up. What is all this one? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's fact that he couldn't just bear the questions and how it was going. All right, let me link you up so that you yourself will drop your comment and tell me what you feel about this interview. God bless you.
Good to see you, Mr. Oyalo. A couple of things. You talked about the possibility of a credit economy. I said in an economy where over 40% of the young people don't have jobs, is that why you're going to build credit economy? How viable is that? Because that's dependent on jobs and infrastructure creation, for the people. Secondly, part of the campaign promises was a 12% GDP growth. And I am really concerned about that. Personally, I think it's almost impossible, because as of today, we are not even growing 5-6%. And we're talking 12% economic growth. Talk to me about that. And how should I trust this administration, income administration, on job creation, when this same APC told us they were going to create 3 to 4 million jobs, but they failed woefully on it, and people lost more jobs in the country. An unemployment rate that was pegged at less than 15% a couple of years ago has snowballed into over 40%. And in 4 quarters, as we speak today, the Bureau of Statistics have not released job numbers. And I dare them to release it, because those numbers are abysmal.
If you are daring them, maybe you should call the person running the place. That's not my job. I don't know whatever you are daring them for. That's their problem, not mine. So now, to answer your question in terms of job creation, Asiwaju has stated clearly what a government should do. You see, we keep forgetting that we have 3 tiers of government. When you keep talking about job, have you asked state governors what have they done in terms of job creation? And when you talk about job creation, we always look at only the white-collar jobs. See, let me quickly bring you back to where we were before President Buhari became president. When President Buhari, before he became president, our entire grain crops in Nigeria, if not entire, but at least over 90%, was imported. As I speak today, that has been removed. We have empowered farmers, but of course, nobody thinks about farmers. You keep thinking people who don't work in ministries and government agencies are jobless. However, go and check the statistics. In the last 5 years, especially, I'm going to use the North as an example in this area, to know who is wealthy in the North. One of the things that you have to look at is the ability to go for Umrah, to go for Hajj. Go and check the last 5 years. The highest number of people from the North who have gone on Hajj have been farmers who were empowered, especially rice and grain farmers. So it's easy to sit down and talk about jobs. Creating job is not only for people to get job in ministry and wear collars, go to church and wear shirt. Please don't interrupt me. Let me finish. I have a train of thought. I'm going somewhere. And also, if you don't let me talk, then don't ask questions. I have to go somewhere. Please. That's why I didn't interrupt you. Now, if you're talking about job creation, you have to look at the plans Asiwaju has for job creation. What are those plans? He has marked Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones, and he's looking at competitive advantage of each zone. If you look at the manifesto that was drawn out, every zone has a competitive advantage. And what he will do is to empower the zones, going through the governors and ensuring that jobs are created. So we can't dump everything on the federal government. Like the rice issue I just mentioned, we know that the government of Kebbi State, for instance, took rice production as a huge deal. And the governor alongside the president and the CBN, we are able to empower farmers. So we must also question what our state governors are doing in terms of job creation. And now you also talk about trusting this government. What I want to ask you is this. Before Asiwaju became governor of Lagos State, what was the IGR and the earnings of Lagos State? It was less than 600 million. What was the infrastructural development of Lagos State? What were the life indices and expansion in Lagos State? Now you have to look at what it was in 1999 and what it was today. Now, if this man was the architect of what we are seeing today, yes, his successor must have built on what he has built. But as a visionary and the architect of what we are seeing today, if he did it then why should we not trust him to do it again? He was a man who was able to run a state which despite the president of that period holding on to the allocation of the state for 3 years, despite Supreme Court judgment, yet he was able to fund the state, raise the IGR, and today Lagos State has an economy that is number 5 in Africa. By the time you take out Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, and Algeria, Lagos comes 5th, bigger than Ghana, bigger than Togo, bigger than Cote d'Ivoire as an economy. That is just one state that this man envisioned and built from 600 million IGR. So clearly what I'm telling you is that we can trust him because he has promised that he will do it. And he's not just promised, he has highlighted how he will do it, and there are time frames attached to it. Now, talking about your GDP growth that you say 12%, he didn't say he will grow the GDP 12% today. But what he said is that cumulatively over time, everything was stated. He gave you the number of years. By the first year, it will be this. By the next year, and if you check the current release by the World Bank, Nigeria has already been marked to grow 3.2, which was about number 2 or number 3 on that list. Looking at the world, because you cannot isolate Nigeria from what is going on in the world. But despite the turmoil in the world, Nigeria was marked to grow 3.2% based on the World Bank statistics.
Okay, so my follow-up will be, are you saying that people going for Umrah and Hajj is a benchmark for wealth creation in the north or job creation? Because when you look at the statistics, the poverty indices say that there are more poor people in the northern part of Nigeria in the last 8 years than any time. Take, for instance, Sokoto, poverty rate inches up to the high numbers over 80%. So what is that benchmark all about? Look, pure and simple, even despite agricultural job creations, hang on, let me finish, please. Despite agricultural job creations, there's still massive unemployment and poverty in the land. Let me put it to you. I know that federal workers alone do not make up the bulk of the job. That's just 720,000 workers, according to IPs in the federal government. But other parts of the economy is still suffering, even those in the agricultural sector. Is it people that have not been able to plant because of insurgency and criminality? Is it the 100 farmers in Zabamari and the likes? And now you are saying Umrah is a benchmark for wealth creation?
Are you done?
You have the floor.
Thank God you mentioned Sokoto. Okay, thank God you mentioned Sokoto, and thank God we both agree that the governors must involve themselves in wealth and job creation. I use Kebbi, which was an APC governed state. Sokoto is governed by a man from the PDP. Maybe you should ask him why his state has 80% poverty, because you can't put that on the federal government. You will, like I told you clearly, the Kebbi state governor, who is an APC governor, was an example and is still an example of what the APC can do if you decide to work. Go and check some of the states that have done well in agriculture. You look at Kebbi, you look at Niger State, you look at Gombe State, and so on and so forth.
Kebbi has 72% poverty.
The state government must.
Kebbi has 72% poverty rate.
It's easy to sit.
Kebbi has 72% poverty rate. Yeah, you can go ahead. Finish.
Can I finish?
Go ahead, yeah.
You can throw these statistics if it makes you feel better. But I can tell you this clearly. Kebbi has enough rice to feed the entire Nigeria today. And if you are talking about poverty, most times we always deliberately forget that we have both formal and informal economy. And because we don't always want to factor those informal economy into the system, you just put them as poor because somebody sit down somewhere and say anybody who doesn't earn $1 per day is poor. Meanwhile, the man who doesn't earn $1 can feed you because he doesn't earn money, but he has enough to feed you. So looking at that is why we have spoken and we have told whoever is in charge of the Bureau of Statistics, there are ways that you have to ensure that whatever you are using is homegrown and can work with us. Go to my village now, you will say, oh, they are poor because they don't earn $1. But these guys have enough in their farms to last you and I for the entire year. But they don't have money in their hands, yet they can feed you. Hello. So what we must now do is to find a way of factoring these people into the system so that you can actually benchmark them against more agreeable indices, not the bland $1 per day.
Are you still there or you left us alongside? Well, if you followed us to this very point, you can attest with me that Oseni is a wonderful journalist. No? Journalist that will not allow you to tell that lies you want to tell on national TVs. A journalist that will remind you of your promises some years back, that you may think nobody noticed that you promised such things. They are not finding it easy with Oseni on national TV. Arise TV has turned to a drama land where they come and they get ready to fight because truth is bitter and you must fight to stand by the truth, okay? That is what we have to tell you today. Oseni, we must have to be grateful to you. God bless you for standing out. Standing out, I know you will have so many rivals, people that think, oh, is he the only one doing journalism? Is he the only one doing good journalism? If you want to be mentioned among Oseni's rates, you just have to tell the truth and speak the minds of the people, and then do not back evil. Don't support evil. Supporting evil is asking those questions that are not relevant when you are not supposed to ask.